Hello everyone, it is Charlotte. Welcome to my channel, welcome to my home. It is one of your favorite days, and that is Index Card Friday. Today, bookmarks. I took one index card, a 3x5, cut it in half, there you go, and we are going to be creating these two index card bookmarks. So first thing we have to do is get our cutter. Because we have to cut our index cards. So I've got my stuff right here. Here's my index card. Because it is a 3x5, obviously when we cut it in half, we will cut it at 1.5, just like that. And we need a couple scraps of cardstock. Here's our index card, cut up. We need a couple scraps of cardstock, which I have right here. I found these pieces and I just thought, ooh, they're so pretty and I like the texture. So we're going to be using this side, although the other side would be really pretty as well. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, this is the month that the roses start blooming. I wish you could smell that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it smells good. So we've got a glue stick. We've got my French book here that we are going to use to get the glue on here. So we're going to just do that. You know, it's hard enough for me to get one piece of cardstock glued down. Now I'm going to have to do two. And let's see. You know, you'd think it got easier with time, but no, not really. Not for me anyway. Let's see. We are going to do the back side of the index card, obviously, because we want to see the right side of the index card in case you want to use it to journal. This would make really, well, any of these would just make the cutest Happy Mail. And if you use bookmarks, this idea, I think, is a really good one. And I'm looking at this thinking, do I want to trim? I don't think I'm going to have to trim this. I think we look pretty good here. So I'm going to call this one good to go. And now we will see if we can be as lucky with this piece. These obviously are going to be using die cuts. And what I did is I pre-cut the dies and then I got my markers out. I think this year, you may have heard me say this in a previous video this week, but I think this year is going to be the year of the die cuts because I have a lot of die cuts, not just flowers. I've got pockets and lace and envelopes. And what happens is I put them all away and then you forget you have them. And so, let's fold this over. You forget you have them and so you don't pull them out and use them. And I am going to get them all out, and I think I'm just going to start using them. So, which way do I want to be up? I think we're going to go this way, like that. Then I have some vintage music paper here. and I really want to use it. It is very, very fine, this paper. So you have to be careful. That will fit there. And I mean, it just literally wants to come apart. So I'm trying to be cautious. And I think if I tear it there, I can use that little scrap on something else. And I didn't want them to look exactly the same. But now we need to do some distressing. And I do have something that I use to distress the edges of fine, fine paper. And here we are. I just have a piece of a file folder there left over, and so I use that, and it works really well. You just take a scrap of anything that's got any thickness to it so that it doesn't bend, and you can use that. It just helps not rip that paper, especially if you're using a very old piece of paper that just wants to disintegrate. So let's go ahead and distress both of these. And then what I do is I just take this, and I may end up with this piece looking so grungy and beautiful that I may end up wanting to use it. But if you've got a flat surface to keep a piece of your old paper on, then you can go ahead and you can do those edges and not worry about your dauber tearing or your papers. You've just got a nice sturdy flat surface to work on, so it really does help. Then let's glue this down, and then we'll come back to this. The reason I want to do that is it'll give this just a little bit of a chance to dry, and it'll be worth it. Oops, see, just getting it off my glue stick, it tore. But that's all right too. I don't mind. See if we can get this down and get the wrinkle out. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm going to just grunge this side up a little bit more, like that. So you can't even see where the tear was. So if you tear it, don't worry about it. Now, you have some options here. You can stitch. If you want to take this to the machine, stitch around all the edges once your paper's on, but before you put your die cut on, because I wouldn't want to, this is just personal preference, I would not want to stitch over my die cut. So I would stitch and then put my die cut on, but you could do whatever it is that you like. So stitching is definitely an option. And if you are going to stitch, because we are going to attach an eyelet, you want to stitch before you put your eyelet on. So let's do this, and then I think we are done with the distressing. And I could have done this ahead of time, but I feel we're making this together. I did use my markers and color the die cuts. And then I did, I did go over them with some Distress Glaze. And so I didn't want to take your time up doing that and having to put the heat gun on and all that. So I did go ahead, and if you don't know how to do that, if you go into, really, you can just go in your search on YouTube, and there's plenty of videos that will show you how to use Distress Glaze. And if this is a little bit too white, you can just kind of ruddy it up a little bit. So I think we're done with that. We can cap that off. And we are done. You don't have to see this. We are done using our glue. There's Maggie. Okay, so what I did is I used this, and then I used this in 2 parts, and I will show you the dyes that I used. I used this dye here. There's 18 dyes in this. This is a Tim Holtz dye, and what happens is the stems and the flower tops are separate so that you can mix them up. Like, for instance, maybe you want this, I think that's a carnation, but it's got like the stem of a rose because it looks like there's little thorns, and this is the piece that I used, and maybe it is a rose. But if you wanted to put with leaves on this one, then you can just kind of mix and match them. So I used that, and then I used this down, this flower head. And then for this one, I used this die here. 661190 is the number on this one. 661190, and the number, just in case any of you want to purchase this yourself, it's 661613. 661613. Another favorite, this was way too big. I mean, I could have used this one here, but this is one of my all-time favorites, and it's 664164. Absolutely love this one and love this one, and I do use this quite a bit. And then I've got minis that I use all the time. You've seen me use those in my little mini journals. Love those. But yeah, look at how pretty these are. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue these down, and then we are going to just go ahead and put our eyelet in and some ribbons, and you will see it's fast and it is beautiful. So here we go. I just took 2 markers, this olive green and this blue, and then I went over it with some embossing glaze. So now we're just going to put some wet glue on this. Any wet glue of your choice will do. And I did order some Stick-It adhesive sheets. And so I am going to see how that works for these. What it is you cut your dies out with this Stick-It adhesive sheet of paper, and when you peel it off, it already has all the sticky goodness on it. So I just ordered that the other day, so it probably will take just a couple days to get here. And then I will try that out and see how that works. So we're just going to go on this with our wet glue. Just like that. And then, because I'm not an artist, and on mine, on the actual die, it showed it with a little purple on the inside. I kind of did that, and I thought, oh, that's kind of wonky looking. And so I took 2 different colors of kind of gold, and I really love the way that came out with the embossing glaze. This is a wax embossing glaze, and I will show you what it is that I use. You could go over this with stickles. You could go over this with Tim Holtz Embossing Glaze. You could go over this with, oh, what is the Tim Holtz? It is like the crystal glaze, but it is, oh my goodness, I think it starts with a G, and now I've completely forgotten what it is. Hopefully you know what I mean, but you could go over it with that as well. Glossy Accents, I'm sorry, yes, Glossy Accents. And we can put this away. That will give you the same thing, but what I like to use many times is this here. I've got a big bag of it. Seth Apter Vintage Beeswax baked texture, and every once in a while, I don't know if you can see that, but see those dark spots in there? That's what gives you that look. Hopefully that is showing up. Kind of a 3D look. That is what I had dipped this into a pool of that, and that's the look that I got. But if you just Google Seth Apter, SETHAPTER Vintage Beeswax, I'm sure that it will come up. I don't have the actual, well, maybe I do have the actual. I've had this for so long that, no, I don't have the website, but it should just show up, Vintage Beeswax. And he doesn't sell this in small, I don't think it comes in small quantities. I think he sells it, this 120 grams may have been the smallest I could get. So, you know, this is gonna, I've used a lot of this, but this is gonna last you a really long time. But this product is great, I really love it. So we've got this. Now what we want to do is put a couple eyelets in here, and I'm going to try to pull out 2 of these gold. Don't really want silver, don't want copper. And we are going to punch 2 little holes in here. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell you you could do, absolutely, you can round the corners if you like. You can stitch, you can round the corners. You could add bits of lace. Personally, I just love them like this. I think they look fantastic. And these would be so cute to put in somebody's birthday card, anniversary card, put in a you know, any journal that you are, if you sell your work, this would be so cute. And I'm thinking my little mini that I just sold, this would be too big for the mini, but the person that gets the mini might really enjoy these. So I'm thinking, as a thank you, I will send out a couple of these. Then I had pulled 2 little scraps. I did not use, wasn't going to use this green on here because if you look at, I used, wasn't happy with this emerald green color. It does match my ribbon better. I really liked this kind of sea or wild looking green. So I pulled out this vintage gold to match the flower because I really would not have liked this with that. I just, nope, didn't think so. So we are going to attach. You can see how quick these are to make. They take no time at all. And if you got on like the assembly line and put these together, you could whip several of these up. Now another idea, you could hang little charms off of here if you wanted to. You could hang a little handmade with love heart. You could hang a journal charm. You could hang you know, birds, owls, flowers, whatever you wanted. Sky's the limit. You like it, you can do that. You could also hang a little mini tag and a little mini tag with a charm. I mean, the sky's the limit. So this is that, guys. Look at how cute. I don't know if this beauty's in the way. Hopefully not, because I just, oh, smells so good. But how cute is this? Okay, I'm in love. So these are mine. This is going next week. So let's get to the giveaway. Now, I will say I never heard from the person whose name I drew for this really cute one. Never heard from her. So the way that this is going to work this year is this is where I drew her name from. I will draw another name from here. And then when this is claimed, these are going in the trash, because the one that the drawing we are drawing for this, I pulled all brand new names, because only the people that comment on the video will be for the following week's draw. So let's go ahead and draw for this again. She had a week and I didn't hear from her. So hopefully I will hear. Oh, I know. Phyllis Maroney, this is yours. I'm positive I will hear from you because you comment every week. So this cutie patootie, and this is what I meant by the little mini dies, one of my favorites to use. This, Phyllis, is yours. I am throwing these in the recycling bin. And this is for all the comments that I received for this last week's 3-pocket index card. So we are pulling out of that for this one. And then I will hang on to these just to make sure that I hear from the person whose name I draw. So good luck. How about Misty Cotton Game? Misty Cotton Game. I know I think I've sent to you before, but please just go ahead and hop on into Etsy and just make sure I've got your address. And the same thing, I'm sure I've got Phyllis's address, but you know, I have a book where I'm going to sit down and put all my addresses in it so you don't have to keep getting in touch with me, and I have them. But yeah, you know how that is. That's not working so well. I haven't had the time to do it. We are going to have to get working on our Medieval Mirage, also our Artie Maze, and the 3 other little mini journals that I need to finish up. So guys, have a fantastic weekend, and I hope you enjoyed this Index Card Friday. I think these are one of my favorites. I am loving them. So have a really, really safe weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.